Don in London. Hello. September the 3rd, my video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour equally addictive around people, places and things, trying to be in the right place with the right people, doing the right things and having the right things. All about wanting to fit in, wanting to be a part of, and wanting to fix the way I felt. So never really wanting the darker side of life, the anger, the pain, the hateful emotions that may be there, and not realising they do play a part in my life, regardless of whether I want to acknowledge them or ignore them. They do play a part. So these days, a more complete understanding that feelings are important as they manifest in the moment, what's going on right now. So whether I'm happy, sad, in love or not in love, doesn't matter. It's knowing my feelings fit what is going on. And that seems to be a recurring theme at the moment. And September, coming into autumn, feels like I've come to my autumn years as well. Somebody was talking about being middle-aged. And maybe I am. In olden days, I'd be old-aged. In some days, I wouldn't even be here. Because drink, alcohol would have got me. No cure for it, alcoholism, but there is a daily reprieve which seems to keep me floating along as best I can. Knowing how I feel right now, and I feel okay, but in pain from physically, from a chronic condition which I can do nothing about, which has nothing to do with alcohol. But I'm able to live with where I am because I'm sober one day at a time. And if I hadn't been sober, I wouldn't have been able to get all these other manifestations of getting older or other things not working as they were intended by nature. So good that I've lived so long, come to an understanding with myself about how to keep sober a day at a time, and know the story is not mine alone. The story involves Alcoholics Anonymous, a fellowship where people from all walks of life share experience, strength and hope of what it's like to be in recovery. And the answer is, we feel real life in the moment of now, and we cope as we can with what is going on, sometimes very successfully and happily, sometimes not successfully and not very happy. Life on life's terms. I share a lot about AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, but I share how it works for me and how the steps work in action, the action steps of the program. And I don't share about other people specifically, but I may share in a general way how they influence me in my life. And the reason for that is I don't speak for AA and I don't speak for anybody else in fellowship or any fellowship. I just speak as it is for me, and that's what I can do. I can't represent something. Oh, excuse me. Apologies for that. My telephone going off. So, AA, it helps me on a daily basis keep sober. That's the many voices in the fellowship of AA who have experienced strength and hope of living sober. And it may be one day sober, or 49 years is one person I know. Sober 49 years, good grief. That's a long time. And why did they choose to be sober? Well, I know my reasons for drinking in the first place. The first drink I ever took did the damage. It took away the fear of something I could not understand. And it turned out to be fear of life, and fear of the feelings I felt, because they felt inappropriate as a young person. And in those days, I don't know if it's still true, children should be seen and not heard. I didn't have a voice when I was a kid, other than a happy one, because nobody wanted to listen to the fear and unhappiness in me, or so I thought. But I was frightened of sharing my fears, and maybe if I had understood it's okay to have fear in one's life and acknowledge it and get help with it, so we can get on with life without feeling that we have to follow a particular path. But alcohol provided the, I suppose, numbing, fixing and generally explosive nature of what it is. It lets out the feelings that we maybe cannot share in any other way. because we didn't learn how. So I may be on middle age, but I'm really enjoying learning how to express my feelings one day at a time and how they fit with the day. So here I share a bit about the steps of AA, the AA preamble in just a moment, why I go there to meetings and am part of a fellowship. And I will say it's attraction to sobriety, not promotion. Attraction is sobriety is bloody hard work, but it's work as it is on life, rather than promoting an idea that AA will fix you. AA will not fix anything. It provides a solution in how to live well without a drink inside it. And life gets to be fun again. And although there's been a lot of tragedy around in meetings, for me, I'm happy in my own life. So I can share what's working for me. But it doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else or for you. It's how you make of your life what you will. And all I know, if we've come into a place of addiction, it's not normally something we can cope with on our own. It takes a while with help and support, not being told what to do, because we'll run a mile, but listening to experience, strength and hope, maybe hearing something which is useful. So the most useful thing I ever heard in AA was keep coming back until something sticks and life starts to get a little bit better. And how can I change my attitude and behaviour and stop waiting for the rest of the world to catch up or to slow down so I can jump back on the bus? It's about making life work, or living life and it working as best it can with what we have. So the AA preamble reads as this, and I wish it, yes, I'm still there, yes. The AA preamble reads as this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither supports, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the fellowship is there for one thing, a desire to stop drinking. That's the only entry suggestion or requirement. And if you have a desire to stop drinking, there are no rules, laws or regulations to stop you from finding your own path. But there are 12 steps or 12 principles to help us be open, honest and willing to change. We can only change us, we can't change for the rest of the world when it comes to drinking. And the fellowship, learning the principles of unity, service and recovery, how we can help each other in unity, service and recovery. And often we find by giving away what we know, we feel better to have helped somebody, rather than hanging on to some sort of secret, which is, well, it's not a secret at all. Sobriety is very straightforward. It's only us who make it difficult because we can't let go of it. Excuse me again. There is something I must do after the video. I need to help someone. Anyway, today, September 3rd, where was I? Yes, done the preamble. The AA Daily Reflections book, which is buried somewhere under a pile of paperwork, has a one-day share, if you like, one-day daily meditation to help focus on what may be important around sobriety, a gentle reminder on a daily basis. And the Daily Reflections book from AA hopefully will be online soon, but there is a Daily Reflections website which you can find on the internet if you don't have a hard copy. And one of the good pieces of good news is that the AA main website already has the big book of AA online and the 12 steps and 12 traditions online, free of charge to read. So it's not an issue of money ever in AA when it comes to recovery. All we need is enough to pay our rent, tea, coffee, biscuits, and make hard copy literature as was required in the past, and still will be required in the future. It won't go away because people need an easy reference right in front of them, and not everybody has access to internet. And not everybody has access to meetings, which is part of the reason why I do these videos in the first place. So, looking at the AA daily reflection for today, building a new life. We feel a man is unthinking when he says sobriety is enough. When I reflect on step 9, and I'll talk about that more in a moment, step 9 being the focus of the daily reflections book in September, 12 steps, 12 months. 12 traditions, 12 months. So September is all about step 9, making amends without doing further harm to people, and restitution. And then comes step 10 in October. I'll go into talk about that another day. When I reflect on step 9, making the amends without causing further harm, I see that physical sobriety must be enough for me. I need to remember the hopelessness I felt before I found sobriety, and how I was willing to go to any lengths for it. Physical sobriety is not enough for those around me. However, since I must see that God's gift, or in good conscience, God's gift is used to build a new life for my family and loved ones, just as importantly, I must be available to help others who want the AA way of life. I ask God, or in meditation and in good conscience, to help me share the gift of sobriety so that its benefit may be shown to those I know and love. So one of the ways of showing how it works, I'm having trouble today. I've done my step 9 video and I'm still struggling a bit with my brain box. Step 9 impacts in so many different ways. Making restitution where we can without harming other people, but also sharing what has happened to us, the self-harm done. And as I often say, when we're at our worst, we were doing the best we could at the time, which was not good enough for the rest of the world. Well, it certainly wasn't good for us either. So we may get angry, resentful, and feel like it's horrible from time to time. We don't have to take it out on the rest of the world, or be overly demanding in a superior way that we have a right over other people to what we do and how we do it. It's not about that, it's about inclusion. Good example yesterday, just in a moment, somebody sat down next to me smoking a cigarette. I don't mind it because I still smoke, and that's one of the things I need to stop doing, and the time will come. But the person next to them on the park bench, church bench, said, "I don't like this, please don't blow your smoke my way." And the man who sat down was irritable to start with, and then an altercation ensued which could have grown bigger and bigger, but I happened to be there and I happened to be able to talk to him, and the smoke stopped blowing in the direction of the person who was very, very upset with life. And sometimes we forget just how upset other people are. So the quick thing to do is take the heat out of the moment rather than say you're wrong, you're right, or you're right and you're wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right, and sometimes two right outlooks can be so wrong when they are combined. It's about getting along, not establishing and putting others down so we can carry on behaving in a way which harms them. So anyway, that's just an example. So for me, I haven't actually put down any thoughts for today because I was so busy doing things to try and retrieve the step 9 video I made. I don't know if it's worked yet, but I hope it has. Some of the things I've thought about over the years for September the 3rd. Changing our life situation and turning it all around. From being helpless and hopeless to functioning and productive human beings. That's what seems to happen. If we could not stop ourselves from drinking, friends and family had little or no chance of providing sufficient reason or love for us to stop. So if we couldn't stop, how on earth could other people in our family stop us? And the absolute answer is, if we could have stopped, we would have. And we would have continued to love our family as best we could. At rock bottom, there is no love for ourselves, and we are desperate. We promise everything and can deliver nothing. Is it any wonder we share about a higher power helping us? What is our higher power? Well, I'll tell you what mine is. It's finding the truth, love and wisdom. The truth of now is not what I think it ought to be, it is what it is. And love, how to love people and be loved back, is the foundation of all my actions, I hope. And wisdom of how to live. If I don't know how, I get the wisdom from other people. So if God works through other people, my higher power includes God. And Gandhi said, God is truth, love and wisdom, essentially. But I can't prove it one way or the other. So how we come to an understanding of a higher power in our lives is quite critical if sobriety is desired. And in my case, the higher power is the many people in the rooms of AA, all with their own unique outlook, an authentic outlook, which helps me and informs me about what works in life. And then I can learn to change my attitude and behaviour. And I can't change anybody else's. My higher power, the understanding, love and compassion learned from those who keep sober, so I can see a life to be lived. My life with every interest I may find open to me in reality. So what I can and cannot do comes into it. And what of their higher power? Simple for me, learning and wisdom, truth and learning to live in the one day which counts, where we have choices today. So it's always in the moment. God is the ultimate higher power. I know I am not God and cannot define God. I do know the power of nature and providence, that each day we humans evolve and learn and change. So nature and providence helps us learn how to evolve and live and be in harmony, or in conflict sometimes, if we are able and not driven mad by self-obsession. So it's not all about me anymore, it's about you and what's going on for you. I've just had the mad dog barking downstairs too. So life is not exactly working out in a peaceful, quiet way this morning, but that's all right. Nature and providence, that is the universe, is so big we cannot comprehend it, and providence, our good fortune or bad fortune, is as we see it and experience it daily. A universe so big we are not at its centre, and we are simply a part of something. I came to believe that God manifests as truth, now, love and wisdom. So it's the truth of now. People talking towards the end of step 9 about the promises, or it says in the book about the promises. If we are painstaking about what we do and how we do it, we shall see a new freedom. And some people say be rocketed into the 4th dimension. Well, as Einstein described, the 4th dimension is time. So rocketed into the 4th dimension, which is right now. Not the future, it's now. Living in the now rather than our history. I learn about truth, love and wisdom every day, as life is, and not what I want it to be. Human understanding of science and everything is bigger than me. So I know in my own world and world of humans, I learn truth, love and wisdom from others and add to truth, love and wisdom in our human world. So it's a two-way understanding of life evolving. God manifests as good conscience and action of all humans having a human experience. As good conscience needs daily attention, so do I. Learning and living in sobriety and living a life with choices which are good for me and everyone I encounter. The devil is in the detail, me thinking I know best, when in reality we live together and coexist, so we know the best as life is today. As we learn to cherish ourselves, we learn to cherish everyone. To love, be loved back and useful is a choice we make daily. And it is a choice we make daily, because this is the one day where it can all work. If we save it up for tomorrow and then try and lavish our love on people, we're not. We're just saving up something which is an illusion. Everything is in the moment of now. God, nature and providence are never the problem. It is in the detail where we choose to reside. Where problems manifest, we forget our primary purpose, to live well together and to cherish always. I don't know where all that came from. It was inside me and I wrote it on this day over the years. other readings from, or thoughts of mine. Our sober life is a beginning. Our old outlook, attitudes and behaviour made us close down, unwilling and quite frankly dishonest in our dealings with ourselves and others. We can feel conflicted with the new us, now more open, honest and willing to change, and so we simply make progress. Sometimes we are not as willing as we feel we ought to be, nor as open and honest as we can be. It's a learning situation and not perfect. And another one, keeping it real, we love people just the way they are. In recovery, we see the tragedy of a life ended too soon in addiction, and we might wish they had found the path of sobriety. As we could not stop our love affair with alcohol on our own, we keep sharing our experience, strength and hope as we may, so we can love and cherish always. And some Amy Winehouse came to mind just then. The truth of an isolated person with so many addictive traits, personality traits, addicted to love, addicted to the pain, addicted to the chaos, as much as addicted to a substance. The substance is only what we use to mask the problem inside us, which is the world that we imagine would be right for us does not exist, and so that fantasy is not in reality. And when we hang on desperately, feeling that we need love from a particular place, person, thing, without realizing that the place or person or thing is not controlled by us, that devastating feeling of heartbreak is resounding, which leads back into the malady and the isms that we may have learned over the years, or simply they were there to start with. Who knows? But the good news is there is a way out of this. How we learn what we can do and what we can't do. We can change our own attitude and behaviour on a daily basis, what works and what doesn't work. We don't hold to tablets of stone or anchors which cannot be moved. We move with where the times are. And our emotions move in the moment of now if we don't get stuck thinking they ought always to be the way that we want them to be. They will never be so. The greatest news is that love grows and manifests as we cherish ourselves and life and other people equally. That's how it works for me anyway, just for today. And it's been frustrating. I don't know if anything's worked in terms of my video productions. That's okay. Eventually, if I have to give it up and start again somehow, I will. If I can't make it work, I'll have to try again another day, which is all to the good of good and life. So for now, that serenity prayer at the end of these videos helps me in any moment find a way forward to modify me and not you, and hope it's going to turn out all right, more so in reality than it would in fantasy or under the influence of something other than me or just life as it is. The serenity prayer to God or in good conscience, can do, can't do, wisdom to know the difference. So to God or in good conscience as it works for you. Your way is going to be the way that works for you, not my way. It's probably thy way, our way, but we learn as we go what we can and cannot do. So to God, all good conscience, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference for me is just for today.